right. Cool. Well, this has been a fun and challenging in a good way past few days. My good buddy Ed is on the call, and he's been helping me out behind the scenes with the cash machine system and taking care of all the people that are involved with that. And he's also helping me with recording, which is really cool. And it's been, like I said, very interesting. But I wanted today to be a really good training for everybody involved, whether you're in the cash machine system or not, does not matter. And the training today is on really the most important tool that you can possibly get for making money online, which is Getresponse. And I know it's going to come up during the call, so let me go ahead and put in my affiliate link for Getresponse, which is all right. So if you're watching the replay of this, my affiliate link, if you want to get it through there, is epicmarketer.com/Getresponse. And I will go ahead and put that in the chat box there as well. All right, so what I want to do is make sure that today that I cover the absolute core fundamentals for using Getresponse for setting up your site. And before I do that, though, I did want to say there's a bunch of people on the call, and I always try and give a shout out to different people. So let me just run through that real quick. Al is here, Anders is here, Tiff is here, my buddy Barry is here, Bob, Carl, Chris, Clarence, Colin, David, Dean is here, Dennis is here, Ed is here, Elizabeth, Gareth, Garth, Jean, Georgian, Gina, Gordon, Hermie, my buddy Ian. There's more people coming in, so the list is moving as I'm reading it. John, Ken, Larry, Leah, Leanne, Linda, Lisa, Lynn, Mats is here, Michael, Pete, my buddy Roger is here, my good buddy Sandra's here, Sharon, let's see, Thomas, Todd, Tom, Wal is here, Wings is here. All right, cool. So, and there's more people coming as we're speaking. So if I missed your name, like Patrick just jumped in, got to say hi to Patrick. So if I missed your name, it's nothing personal. It's just more people are coming in. I probably just missed it in GoToWebinar. But I love having you on the call. I love that that you're passionate and excited about learning this this business. And yeah, Ian said 3 cheers for Ed. He's doing a great job. So I agree with that 100%. Garth, no worries, dude. If you want to watch this, you may be a little bit surprised, but if you got to go, that's cool too. I get it. So first thing I want to cover in this call is why we're using Getresponse versus Aweber. Okay, so Garth just brought that up, said, hey, he's got Aweber, is this going to be relevant? And I used Aweber for over 10 years. Okay. I don't think that they're an evil company or a terrible service or anything like that, but for years, Getresponse has really made a lot of improvements, and they've always been kind of on the back burner of, yeah, maybe I'll switch over to them. And a couple years ago, I talked to Charles Kirkland at one of the Warrior Forum events, and he shared with me, and Charles is a split testing maniac, that the deliverability rate for Getresponse has actually improved to the point where it's better than Aweber's now. Okay, and that alone should be enough to get people to switch over from Aweber to Getresponse. But I had a couple other things happen as well. One was the billing that the structure or process that Aweber has for their billing, I really disagree with. Okay, what essentially would happen was my list a few years ago was at 40,000 subscribers, okay? And when I would actually mail to my list, it would go out to around 13,000 subscribers. And the reason for this is because I have a million products, so people would be on multiple lists, okay? Now, that's all fine and everything, but Aweber was actually charging me for a list size of 40,000 instead of a list size of 13,000. And, you know, we all know if you've, you know, taken a notepad out and putting some text on there and saved it, that there's like zero space involved with storage for just text. And so to me, that was a very gray area as far as how they did their billing. So that was a big one where I said, you know, maybe I'm going to switch over to Getresponse because this really isn't right how they're doing that. But then I don't know about how long ago it was, you know, say within the past year, Getresponse all of a sudden came out with a whole new look, a whole new dashboard, an iPhone and Android app for the service, and really just blew it out of the park with a ton of new features. And so I've switched over, and I have not looked back since then. And so if you're on Aweber, it's cool. It'll still work. You can still build your list. But I think you'll see from today's training why it's so exciting to be with Getresponse. So hopefully that makes sense to everybody. Let's see here. So David, I did get your email. I did not get a chance to respond to it, and I'll take care of that later today. So thanks for asking. Let's see. Is Lawrence here, said Edward. Let me see. No, he's not. Not sure why you needed to know that, but no, he's not. All right, so and Ian said, and it's so easy to use too. And let's see. So David said, can you clarify that billing point? I asked Getresponse support if they charge per subscriber and was told they charge per email address, as each campaign is charged separately. So big difference is charging per email address. Like my email is mikecowles@gmail.com. So like if I was my own customer and I bought 5 different products, okay, my email address would be in there 5 different times. So if they're charging per email address, they're charging me once for mikecowles@gmail.com, not 5 times, which was the difference. So big difference. All right, and then Georgian asked, is it a lot of work to switch from Aweber to Getresponse? It was actually a piece of cake, okay? Now, one of the things that I had a big concern about as far as switching over was, am I going to lose a bunch of my subscribers from people that, you know, didn't open the email or whatever saying, hey, you know, Mike's switching from Aweber to Getresponse, click here if you want to confirm that you want to go there. And so what I did was actually talk to Jim from Getresponse, and what he said was you can actually import your list without the double confirmation if they take a look at your list first. So what they're looking for is, you know, red flags that, you know, you bought the list or it's a spammy list or something like that. So if you've been building your list the right way, where you're building relationships and people know you and you're contacting them regularly, then you know, you don't have to worry about that. So very cool, very simple to do, and it's really been a great experience. So like one of the things that that I really like is their app. Okay, so like literally I can be, you know, at a red light or the park or whatever and pull out my iPhone. I can see exactly what the click-through rate was, the open rate was, how many people are reading my emails. You know, I can create a new email and send it out, and I can do it all on my phone, and it's really easy because it's optimized for the website. I mean, for the iPhone. So whether you're on an iPhone or an Android, doesn't matter. But my point is, it's mobile responsive. So very cool. All right, so let me open up. Let's see. All right, so what I'm going to do here first is I'm going to pretend like you haven't set up anything whatsoever and you're brand spanking new to this, and I'm going to show you how to do it. And yes, Patrick, I believe it is. So what I want to do is make sure that you know how to set up your account, how to set up a web form, how to put it on your site, and then how to email your list. Okay, so there's more advanced things that we can talk about, but I want to make sure that those are covered first. And you know, when we're done with that, if you like this, I actually got finished putting together a new video series that goes through all this stuff. So if I go a little too fast for you, or it seems too technical, you can always feel free to grab the Getresponse training that I already set up. Okay, it's a full video series. There's 11 videos in there. All right, so first things first. So if we go to our dashboard when we're logged into Getresponse, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set up what's called a campaign. Okay, now if you set up a campaign, if you don't set up a campaign, then you're not going to be able to set up a web form, because the web form is going to say, what campaign are we using? And you're not going to be able to mail your list because it's going to say, what group do you want to mail it to? So first thing, absolutely, bar none, first step is to set up a campaign. And what that is basically is a group of people that you plan on targeting. So there could be nobody in it, of course, but maybe it's internet marketers, maybe it's people in the weight loss niche, maybe it's people that bought product A, or whatever it is. Okay, so the way we do this is over here there's a little arrow with a drop down, and what you do is you scroll down until you see create campaign, and then we'll just call this live demo 99. Now, one of the things when you set up your campaign is if somebody else has already taken this, then it'll say, hey, you have to pick a new one. So you may have to put a number or initial or something after that, but pretty simple to do. So we click on create new campaign, and then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to click on edit campaign settings. Okay, now there's 3 different tabs in here. The first one, the only thing you really have to focus on is making sure that you turn off notifications so that you're not getting an email every time somebody opts into your list. Okay, that's exciting at first. As soon as you get 100 or 200 of these a day, then it starts to get really annoying because you can't get any of your emails. Okay, so the next thing is under profile is, and nobody sees this except for you, you're going to want to put something in there to identify this group. So it could be, you know, free gift on mc.com as an example. Okay. Now, your agencies, under the category here, what we're looking for is basically your niche. So for me, I always pick internet marketing, and we hit save. And then right here, enter your campaign description, just something short to identify it. So again, it could be free gift on mc.com. And then for your logo, I wouldn't even bother. Okay, so we're done with this section, the profile tab. The next thing is to go to our permission section. Now this is an important one. Okay, right now by default, okay, Getresponse has it enabled where you have a double opt-in. Okay, so what that means is that when somebody fills out a form and says, yes, I'd like your free gift, what happens is instead of getting an email that says, cool, here's your free gift, instead they get another email that says something like, hey, now, before you get your free gift, we want to make sure you actually wanted that free gift. Click here to confirm you want to be on so-and-so's list. Okay, and so obviously this will like kill your numbers. So there's zero advantage for you to ever use the double opt-in, or in this case it's called enabled confirmed opt-in. Okay, the emails that go out to your list will always have at the very bottom, hey, if you want to unsubscribe, click here, or if you want to change your information, click here. So it's not like they can't go there and see, oh yeah, that's right, I opted in, okay, or they can't get off your list or anything like that. So don't make it harder for them to get on your list. So the way to make sure you do that is to simply uncheck these 2, okay? Now, over here for the confirmation message, this is if they are double opting in, so it doesn't even matter. But just to play it safe, there's a couple things that I would always check. I'd always make sure that your email address is the right one, in case if somebody later changes it or you make a mistake and you forget to check it off or something, so that they're not confused if it does get sent out. And the other thing is I would always change from the hosted by Getresponse confirmation page to one that's on your site. Now, there's two reasons why you want to do this. One is anytime you set up a thank you page, that's actually property or real estate of yours that can do one of two things. It can either generate more income or it can generate more rapport. Okay, so the income might be, hey, thanks for taking me up on my offer. In the meantime, check out this other related offer. Okay, so, and it could be an affiliate link, it could be your own product, doesn't matter, but that's a way for you to make more money. The other thing for the branding side or the rapport side is you could put a video on there or a picture of yourself on there, maybe doing something recreational that people are going to relate to, where you say something like, thanks for taking me up on my offer. You should get a link in the next couple minutes. If you don't see it, please check your spam folder or email us here and we'll be happy to help. Okay? Now this could be a video, it could just be text, but what that does is it continually puts you, your voice, your face in front of your customers so that they know you, they remember you, they like you, they trust you, you're helping them out. So always use your own URL. So in my case, it would be, mikecowles.com/thanks. Okay, so once you do that, your campaign is now set up and the settings are all good on there. Okay, so now the next thing is we're going to have to set up what's called a web form. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here and we're going to click on Create New. All right, now there's there's a gazillion different styles of web forms in here, and I'm going to tell you right now that that you just want to pick the default one and keep it simple, because your conversion rate is going to be better and it's going to be less distracting for everybody. Okay, and the main point of your form is just to get people to get on your list, so it's not to impress them with graphics or something like that. Now, this is the default form that's in here, and there's a few different things that you're going to want to change before you ever save this web form. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get rid of or clean up just about everything that you can from this web form and only leave the bare bones minimum. So, like, first of all, this header, we're going to go over here and we're going to click on that, and that'll delete that or hide it. The footer right here, we're going to get rid of that. Okay. The name, we're going to get rid of that. Okay. And then down here, the privacy, we're going to get rid of that. Right here, this email marketing by Getresponse, we're going to get rid of that as well. So all we end up with is a place for them to put their email and the button. Okay. Now, the reason why you want to get rid of all this stuff is, let's go back here for a second and look at these last two, powered by and privacy. First of all, the powered by, you may be thinking, well, gosh, I want to maybe put my affiliate link in there or whatever. Don't do it. Okay. What this does is it reminds people that they're going to be getting marketed to, and especially in the internet marketing niche, they're probably overwhelmed with a gazillion emails to begin with. So when you remind them of, hey, this is going to be more marketing stuff, there's a good chance they're going to say, you know what, I don't want to opt in right now. Okay, so that's the powered by. Now, the privacy is basically the same concept, but like an analogy would be, if, for the ladies that are on the call, okay, if you're a single lady and you're in a bar and a guy walks up to you and says, hi, before I tell you whatever I was going to tell you, I want to let you know that I'm not a serial killer, I'm not a rapist, I'm not a murderer, I don't have a dead body in my trunk, but I'd really love to buy you a drink. Okay? What's going through your mind when a guy says something crazy like that is, you know, you just reminded me of all the reasons why I never want to get a drink from a stranger in a bar, right? So when you say, hey, we respect your privacy, we're not going to spam you, we're not going to send you a million emails, what you're actually doing is reminding them of why they don't necessarily want to opt in because they've had those negative experiences in the past. So, yeah, so in the chat box there, Sandra said, bye, and Georgian says, I don't believe you. So, yeah, so exactly. So get rid of those, okay? Maybe in the future that's going to be different. You know, if you want to split test it, by all means do it. But that's been my experience, is the simpler, the better. Now, one other thing we're going to want to do is, in this drop-down menu, is go to the body here, and where it says background, we're going to change it to transparent, or you can just go ahead and drag this little cursor thing all the way up to the top here and make it, oh, it's because it's that. So if you drag it all the way up there, it'll make it white, or you can just click on transparent, either way. Okay, so that way you don't have this gray box around your opt-in form. Okay, so now that we've done that, we're going to scroll down here. We're going to click on Save Web Form, and then we're going to go to our settings. Okay, now the first thing that you're going to want to do is name your web form something that you're going to understand. So you may have multiple web forms for the same list, like this is in the sidebar, this is on the thank you page, this is on this squeeze page, whatever. So you're going to want to call it something that you're going to recognize. So maybe free gift on mc.com as an example. Now, confirmed opt-in, remember we're leaving that off, okay? Subscribe via Facebook. This is one that people may not agree with me on, but I think that you should leave this one off 99% of the time. Okay, the reason being is it's a distraction, and a lot of times it goes back to the other thing of you're reminding them of something. Like, you know, people are kind of funny about their Facebook. Like, they will think of it as their personal group. This is how I contact my friends. This is how I contact my family. This is where I learn about, you know, personal things going on in their lives. So when you say subscribe via Facebook, you know, it's going to say, hey, do we have permission to post on your behalf and to put stuff on your page? And a lot of times people are going to be like, you know what, I don't want to do that. I don't want to have that violation of privacy. So so I suggest you leave that on off in order to get the best results. Okay. Now, real quick, Gareth asked a quick question. He said, why aren't you including the box for first name? And the reason is, the more information that you require people to give you before they can get free access to something, the lower your conversion rates are going to be. Okay? So like if you said, hey, enter your name, your email address, your address, your phone number, and, you know, we'll send you whatever, there's a lot of people that are going to be like, you know what, I don't want to get junk mail, or I don't want to get junk email, or I don't want to get a phone call. So, you know, the less you ask for, the better. You're always going to get a much better conversion rate that way. And the other thing is, you know, normally the people that use the first name feature in your emails are internet marketers. And especially if you're in the internet marketing niche, they already know all that. So like, when an email says, you know, hi Frank, you know, this is Mike, I just wanted to send you a quick note. A lot of times they don't even put Frank, if that's their name, in the first name. Instead they'll put Mickey Mouse or something, so that the email will say, hi Mickey Mouse, this is Mike, and I just want to send you a quick note. And you know, and by the way, that's a good habit to be in if you do opt into somebody else's list and they ask for the name, is to put something other than your name, so that it's a pattern interrupt to let you know that this is not a personal email. This is not just for you. So this is an advertising, so that, you know, it's less likely to influence you to buy if you really shouldn't be buying. Okay. All right. So Sandra asked, would you ever use the Facebook option? I think I already covered that, which is no. Let's see, but you know, that could always change in the future. And then Edith asked a good question. She said, at which point do you start to collect more information like their name and their telephone number? Well, there's two different scenarios. One is a CPA offer, in which case you really don't have a choice about that. And CPA stands for cost per action, okay? And what that means is, like, you can offer somebody things like a free Best Buy gift card or a free iPad or, you know, a free acai berry, you know, sample or something like that. And what happens is, if people fill out the form where they're asking for more things like their name, their email address, their mailing address, their phone number, then the company that's selling that, whether it's Best Buy or whoever, will pay you $2, $5, whatever. And, you know, some of them pay more than others. And the reason is they pay more for those bigger forms versus just an email address, because they know it's harder to get that. So, you know, if you have a better relationship with your list, or you have a cheap source of traffic, you know, that's targeted, that kind of thing, then that's when you'll be collecting more information like the name and telephone number. Now, the second scenario is for people that have actually bought your stuff, okay? If you are selling a physical product, whether it's a DVD in a case or shoes or fishing poles or whatever, and you're going to mail it to them, then you're going to collect all their information to make sure that A, you can send it to the right address, and B, you can you know, call them if there's a problem and say, hey, you know what, we shipped it, but UPS said it got damaged or whatever. You can also collect people's information when they buy, like their mailing address, their phone numbers, and stuff like that. If they've bought something that's maybe a mid to high-end price point, because now there's more of a relationship, like they trust you more. And it's a good idea to do that for things like sending them a gift, okay? You can send them an upsell, of course. You can send them a notice of something that's coming up, of course. And those are great ways to make more money. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't do them, but sometimes it's nice to really build that rapport with people and to build that relationship with people by sending them a gift. So at that point, you can collect more information. All right, so Sandra is very excited about the Mickey Mouse advice. So cool. So Michael said, my version of Getresponse is labeled thank you page dynamic. Is this the same as basic? Without seeing your screen, Michael, I don't know where you're at in there, where you're seeing that. So if you can clarify that, I'll be happy to answer your question. And then he said the remaining two are the same as yours. Page dynamic. So go ahead and type that in, because I'm curious now, Michael. All right. So John, glad you're here, buddy. John just chimed in a quick hi, hello. All right. So so Michael said, I am on the create a web form page as you. So interesting. So it says something completely different on yours, huh? It says thank you page dynamic. Yeah, I wouldn't know without seeing it. So I would ask Getresponse. You know, they have a live chat. They're normally right on right away, as well as they have a toll-free number. So I would ask them. All right. So the next thing that we want to do is, again, this is for the settings for this web form. Once they opt in, you want to have a custom thank you page. So like we talked about before, if you go to mikehowells.com/thanks, you'll see this generic thank you page, which, you know, has my picture on there, not because I like looking at my picture, but because I want my face and my voice to be on my customers' minds. Like, oh yeah, I know Mike. He's the guy who did this video or that product or whatever. So that's just part of branding. But this is a great generic thank you page, because I could use this for any web form. I could use it for a purchase. I could use it for a free offer. I could use it for a registration for something. It doesn't matter. So that's why the text is very specific. Of thanks for taking me up on my offer, not thanks for buying blah 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 product. Okay, you should receive an email in the next few minutes. Anytime they buy or sign up for anything, they should receive an email. And then right here, if you don't see an email, please check your spam folder. And obviously my contact link is right here as well. All right. let's see. So Sandra said, I think the dynamic depends on the options you have chosen. So Michael, hopefully that helps. But again, I would still contact Getresponse and ask them directly. All right, so now that we've done that, we hit save. Actually, let me. All right. So now that we do that, we hit save, and then we're going to go to the next step. And the next step is actually how we're going to put this on our website. Okay, so if you click right here, I will install my web form. Okay, you know, you can have excuse me, you can have Getresponse host it. Don't ever do that. The option, the best option for sure, is to have it where you put it on your website. Okay, it leaves you in control, and you can customize it. You can do all kinds of other things as well. So there's two different options here. There's JavaScript and HTML, and it used to be that HTML was the best option because the JavaScript wouldn't show up on smartphones and tablets and stuff like that, and now that's not the case. Okay, if you look at this, this is literally like one line of code. If you look at this, this is a plethora of code, like a dictionary. And so if you don't copy all of it the right way for whatever reason, or if, which is more common, if WordPress edits your code, which a lot of times there's a bug with WordPress where you can put code in there and they'll think, oh, he actually means this. So they'll change it and it won't show up right. So use the JavaScript code, okay? Now, in a couple seconds, I'm going to show you an advanced strategy that's right out of the Getresponse training series because of an issue with WordPress, because so many people are switching over to WordPress. So I want to make sure that everybody knows about this, because if you don't, you're going to be really aggravated. So let's go ahead and say demo 999, and what we'll do here is we're going to put the code on there. I'm going to show you the page, and then I'm going to show you the problem. Okay, so first of all, when you put any code on a WordPress page, make sure that you're not on the visual tab, but you're on the text tab. Okay, so all we're doing is just copying and pasting that code. So remember, this is what we have right here. So right above that, just for the clarity of this, I'm going to say this is the form. Okay, now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click publish. And then I'm going to click on view page, and we can see, right? Looks great, right? Awesome. So Mike showed me how to put a form on here. So then let's say you come back here and you say, by the way, I'm on the visual side. So I'm going to say, you know what, this is, I want to change the words to, this is the really cool form. And then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to hit publish again, or update, whatever. And I'm going to come back here to the page and I'm going to refresh it. And okay, so cool. So the form's on there and the text is different. But here's where WordPress gets buggy. If we switch over to the text and then the visual and back to the text, a lot of times what will happen is it'll actually delete this whole JavaScript code. Okay, I don't know why. I don't know why it doesn't do it every time. It does it sometimes, doesn't do it all the time. Yeah, but it's been happening for quite a while. So, so in this case, it's making me look silly because it's not doing it. But I actually did this in the demo for the Getresponse training, which I'll show you. If you end up picking that up, you'll see me do it live or on the recording there instead. But I'm wondering if it's because there's text on here as well versus just the form. So if we update that and switch back over to visual and then back to text, yep. So now it's disappeared. Okay, so that can be very aggravating. So what I want to do is show you a great little workaround for it. And what it is there's a line of code that you can use which will display PHP, a PHP file, and what it'll do is it'll show content that you have on either another site or another place on your site. And so what happens is you can actually go, actually we'll leave this page open here. What you can do is you can go and you can do a new media file, okay? And this is where you would upload it. And what we'll do is, let me grab this. All right, so then what we're going to do is we're going to create a new document, and all we're going to do is we're going to put the code, the JavaScript code on that document. Okay, we're going to save this. Okay, we'll call it form demo. Okay, and so when we save that to our desktop, this is essentially what we want. This is what we want to have show up on our page, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to upload that thing we just created. Okay, so form demo. Actually, you know what? Before we can do that, we have to rename it. I almost forgot that. So let me go back over here, because WordPress won't let you throw it on there with just a blank one. So we'll say form demo HTML. And this way, when we upload it, now it's on our site. So now we hit edit in order to find out where this is, like what the URL is. So this is the URL. This is where that form is. So if we go over here just to show you what this looks like, if we open this up, you'll see the form is on there. Okay, so good. So this is what we want to show up on our page, and we don't want it to be screwed up by whatchamacallit, by WordPress. So we can close all that. So then what we're going to do is we're going to put this special little code on here. Before I do, I'm going to put the URL just for saving it there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to copy this code. And yes, I'll give you access to this code for free. And so the link goes right here where it says put URL here. Now if we say whatever text above it, this is the cool form. And now we hit update. Now once we refresh it, we can see, you always have to refresh it before you get rid of all that. All right. That was totally weird. All right. I've actually done this like 100 times, and it's so funny how if something doesn't happen when you're live on the call, but I always get a kick out of that. So I might have pasted this on the visual side instead of the text side, which will mess it up. So all right, so let me grab this. All right, so now if we go over here and we update that. Great, so now we go over here and we refresh this. Excellent. Let me see. So one of the things that's nice about this, and I learned this from Dave Gwyndon, was I was watching him do a demo video and he messed something up. He put in a wrong link or something like that. And I saw what he did while he did it, and then it wasn't working. And he said, "Okay, great. So you're probably laughing at me because I messed something up, but let me see if I can figure out the problem and see what the solution is, so that you can see how we problem solve." So in this case, I know that all this is good, meaning that the code is good for the PHP file. And by the way, there's a plugin that you have to get in order to have PHP display on your site. So one of the things I'm going to do here is I'm going to go back to the media that I have. and see if I can edit that file and change the name on it, because normally I don't do, here we go. Normally I don't put a .html, and I'm wondering if that's going to be the reason why it's having that issue. So, all right, so you know what I'll do is I will, instead of doing that, and trying to edit it through there, which is going to be slower, is I will go ahead and I'll upload it through the cPanel instead. And again, this is a longer version, but I'm just showing you how to that's so funny. There's a bunch of comments coming in. How to resolve issues as they come up. So all right. So you don't have to know how to do what I'm doing. All I'm doing is going through the process of elimination here to see why it was acting goofy. So this form demo, we're going to rename that just form demo. And then we'll come over here, and I actually have a folder already set up from when I made the video the first time. So, yep. So we'll hit upload. All right. So now this is, instead of going through all this stuff, it's going to be in form folder, and it's just called form demo. There's no .html or anything like that. And we'll hit update, and hopefully all right, awesome. So I'll tell you what, instead of being stuck on this, for whatever reason it's not working right now, I'm sure I'll probably go back and watch the replay of this and be like, duh, it's because I had whatever. So very interesting. I wonder, let me take a quick look here. Yeah, okay. So I do not know why that's not working, but I promise you, if you get the course, you'll see me do it the right way, and it's working on there. So I got to go back to these comments because there's so many funny ones on there. So let's see. Sharon said completely lost. Sandra said, "Oh no, Mike Cowles is human." All right. And then, oh, Sandra was asking also about what are those functions in your WordPress editor, like HR, BR, etc. What those are is those are short codes for. There's a lot of bugs, honestly, with WordPress that although it's a great tool, things like adding a horizontal line or spaces between paragraphs, things like that, they can be, you know, fine when you first do it, and then thank you, Ed. They can be fine when you first set it up, but then they won't work if you go back from visual to text or whatever. So like in this case, and Ed is so sharp, he just sent me a text, said, you know, you're in visual mode. With this particular, with short codes, it doesn't matter if you're in visual mode or not. So if you look over here, it's going to look exactly the same because it's in those two brackets. So what that'll do is when I publish it, is it's still going to show my error above it, but it'll have a horizontal line beneath it. So there we go. So, and that's a free plugin, by the way, in order to do that type of stuff. So it's called Simple Breaks. Simple Breaks. All right. So Rick said, oops, gotta love it. Ian said, should you have taken the quotes out? I don't think so, but honestly, for the sake of respecting everybody's time, I don't want to stay on this particular session too long, or as far as this particular thing too long. So, so Edward said the problem is with the path. Had this issue yesterday. Interesting. Okay. So let's see. Sandra said, would .htm change anything, or could be the HTML thing also? Let's see. Oh, Leanne said, what's the name of the plugin needed to display PHP? That's over here. And I believe it's called Allow PHP. Yep, Allow PHP in Posts and Pages. So you just do a search for that. All right. All right. So, and then Sandra asked the question, you could save a file with no extension, and the answer is yes, you can. Okay. The difference is if you are, it'll treat it basically as just raw code. Okay. So again, it's probably bugging me more than it's bugging you, because I'm not sure why this is giving me the error, but normally that would just show exactly what whatever code you have on the other page. So you know what? Let's, for the sake of the example, let's try the other one. See if it was the file I uploaded, or if it has to do with the PHP code. So if we update this, and then we go back over here and refresh this. Yeah, so okay, good. So that's good to know. So what that tells me then is that the problem is not with the link or whatever, but it's with this little bit of code. So I probably added an extra, quote or space, or forgot to do one or something like that. Let me see here if that's. And copy this. Yeah, it's looking pretty exact, like it's the same thing. So the people that are not technical right now are probably bleeding from their ears, going, "I don't get any of this." But I'm sure there's a few people on the call that are going, "Well, wait, I want to know, what it is, how to fix it, or whatever." So I'll tell you what. We'll Rick said semicolon at the end. Colin says, better just give me the course link, Mike, I'm lost. And Barry said, that's how things always work for me, to laugh out loud. Yeah, Sandra said, what's the plugin for those short codes? I'm having a lot of problems with WP Editor, eating my spaces and page breaks. Yes, it's called Simple Breaks. And I'm telling you, I wanted to send the guys $1 million when I saw it, because I looked around forever in order to get this. And everything from doing a BR code to a paragraph code to a div code to an invisible transparent image. I was like, there's so many different clunky ways to do it, and half of them didn't work half the time. All right, so I put that link in there for Simple Breaks. All right, Wing says bleeding from my ear. Sorry about that. No, so everybody's curious here about getting this fixed. Sandra just said the message says the problem with the plugin is what she's thinking. So let me go ahead and grab what I know is a right code from another site of mine, and then we'll just swap this out and see if there's something missing here that I didn't see. Yeah, again, it's looking like the exact same thing, but code is a funny thing. Sometimes it's a matter of, something tiny like a paragraph or a space or apostrophe or something like that. So let me make sure we put this in the text side versus the visual side. And if this doesn't work, we're going to go back to the video. I'll give everybody access to that video for free for the sake of, oh, see, there we go. So there was something wrong with the actual little bit of line of code that I put on there. So now we can see, great, it's working. So that was for the text file. If we do the form demo, there we go. So, okay, so good. So now you can see we got it figured out. So Garth said, I just noticed you have a Mac, so do I. Cool. Let's see. So Edward said, uninstall PHP plugin and reinstall. No, the PHP plugin's fine. It was just a matter of the, there was a problem with the actual code that I put down there. All right. Sharon said, did you say you would give a link for simple breaks? When you, all you have to do is when you're in your plugin area, okay, and you want to add a new plugin, what you'll see is top of the page right here where it says add new. Click on that, and you just do a search for simple breaks. You can see it's already showing up on here because I already have it, and it's already installed on mine. You would hit on yours, you would hit install now and then activate, and that's it. And then you have all these different codes that you can use with it. So very, very cool, works great. So for the sake of time, because we're already at an hour, and I know I spent about 10 minutes on that silly mistake of mine of the little bit of code there, what I want to do is make sure that everybody knows how to send out messages as well. Okay, so Sandra said, so what was the advantage of using that code when it works for your autoresponder? The advantage is otherwise the code will disappear. The JavaScript for the form will disappear when you switch from text to visual back to text. When you do that, a lot of times your whole form will just disappear. So if you put the form instead in a separate file like this, and then just point to it with this little line of code here, then it'll show up every time. Okay, assuming you don't miss something like I did in the demo there. All right, so next thing, there's two different types of messages that we can send out. There's newsletters and there's autoresponders. Now, a newsletter, excuse me, is a specific date and a specific time. So, like you could say, for instance, there's a 4th of July sale this weekend. It goes till midnight, and have that go out on the 4th of July at 12 in the morning. Okay, an autoresponder, which is a great concept, and hopefully everybody's seen that and understands it. But the autoresponder is set up to automatically respond based on your subscriber's action. So in other words, if you say, I have a 3-day training of how to do whatever, teach a dog to sit, okay, you're going to get day 1, day 2, day 3. If I opt in on Monday, immediately in my inbox, I'm going to get day 1. On Tuesday, I'm going to get day 2, and on Wednesday, I'm going to get day 3. But if, 2 months from now, somebody opts in on a Wednesday, on that Wednesday immediately, they're going to get day 1, and on Thursday, they're going to get day 2, and on Friday, they're going to get day 3. So there's two different types of messages, so it's important to understand those two differences. So first thing is, let's say we want to create a newsletter. What we're going to do is we're going to pick the new email creator, and we can call it whatever, say day 1. Or actually, this is the newsletter, not the autoresponder, so we'll say news today. Okay, so subject may be 4th of July sale. Okay, you pick whatever email address you want it to come from. If you want to add Google Analytics, you can click on this. If you want to add a Twitter account, you could add an account right here, and whatever message you send out will also go out to Twitter. Same thing with Facebook. You just click add account, and then we hit save. And then once that's saved, we come over here, we click on the next button. And there's a million gorgeous designs. Don't use them. Okay. The reason is they're going to take longer to load. It definitely looks like an advertisement versus an email from a friend, and we want to build a relationship with people where they see us as a friend. And obviously that's going to be from doing honest things, taking care of them, providing good quality, you know, telling the truth, all those things. But when you first get started, they don't know if any of those things are true or not about you. So when they get that email and it looks like this and it's got a big logo or whatever, there's a good chance that they're going to kind of see it as an ad versus a letter from a friend. So instead, we're going to come over here and we're going to pick HTML code editor. And this part is going to be the same from the autoresponder as well as the newsletters. So we won't cover this twice. But what you do is you come down here and you click on the Wysiwyg Editor. And what that stands for is what you see is what you get. So now you can just say, hey, you know, here's your link, http:// MikeCalls.com/ talk soon, Mike, right? So now what you have to do is, in order to make sure that Getresponse will track your clicks, what you have to do is you have to make this link clickable. So if I were to just send it the way it is, in some email clients like Gmail, it will be clickable, but Getresponse isn't going to track it. So what you have to do is you have to just highlight it, just copy it, and then come over here and paste it. Now, and then we click insert. So now it's a link. Now, you could have the words click here and then, you know, link that, and that's all good and fine. But the reason why this is better is because if you highlight this whole thing and you come over here to plain text, you simply paste it, and it already has your link in there versus the words click here. So now you have to go back and, you know, find your link and everything else. So it's because you're going to be emailing your list a lot, every single step that you can save that still does the best result is going to be something that you want to focus on. So once you do that, if there's a long sentence, you simply click on wrap long lines and close it, and then that message is done. So now we can test it, like send a test message to ourselves. We can see what it looks like on different inboxes. We can check it for spam, like if there's any flags, like certain words are going to trigger spam, things like that. So then we come over here and we save this as a draft, and we click on next steps, and then we pick whichever campaign we want. So let's say we'll pick that one, and then it'll say how many people are in there, how many people are going to get it. You click on next, and then what happens is with a newsletter, you can either schedule it, like, hey, on the 4th of July at 9 in the morning, or you can send it now, like, hey, I just heard about an awesome dime sale. You'll want to go there right now and get it while it's still only $7. Okay? So, and by the way, that's a very, very powerful thing to do. Great way to make money when you build your list on a instant basis. Okay? All right, so I'm obviously not going to send that out. So let's go back over here to the autoresponders now. So to create an autoresponder, same thing as creating a newsletter, except now we're going to do is we're going to base it on the time-based. So on day 0, meaning as soon as they opt in, if you switch this to 1, it would be the day after they opted in. Okay, we pick our campaign, we leave everything else the same, and we click on create new email, and then this is just everything else is going to be exactly the same. Okay, so you put in your message name, the subject, all that good stuff. So once you do that, you now have your autoresponder set up, and if you want to go back, you can add a second or third or whatever autoresponder. So if you click on manage autoresponders, you're going to see there's nothing in there right now because I haven't saved any, but you could say, you know what, on day 3 I want to send them something, okay? And it'll automatically pick it for you. It'll say on day 3. So then you could just click create new message, or you could choose an existing message and then just save and publish, and you're done. So that's really it. That's what I wanted to cover as far as you know, the Getresponse training. Let's see. Leah asked, just Java or HTML2? Well, as the Java or the HTML option, that's with the web form, Leah. So, and you always want to do the JavaScript for that one. So I've done HTML, I tried it a bunch of times, and WordPress always just jumbles it up and doesn't show up right. All right, so the solution that I shared earlier with the little PHP code is the best way to do it. All right, let's see. So Thomas asked, should it open in a new page in your browser? Should what open in a new page in your browser? Because we talked about a few different things, Thomas. So whether you're talking about a newsletter or an autoresponder or an opt-in box or whatever, I don't know. So you have to clarify that. All right, and then Sandra said, I like something like Pretty Link plugin to make a link like mikecows.com/whatever instead of this long thing. I hesitate to click on that. Yep, I agree with you 100%. And Pretty Link is a great one. And I actually found out about another plugin I'll be emailing. I don't have the, it's like, I think it's like Link Cloaker or something like that. That's similar to Pretty Link, but actually better because it does split testing as well. And this was created by a guy that used to be, I think, an engineer over at Google. So really, really smart guy, and it's a super easy to use plugin, which is really refreshing. All right, let's see. So Gina said, why do you use the HTML editor instead of just plain text template? Because if you don't have the clickable link in there, Gina, then Getresponse has no way of tracking whether or not people are clicking on your links. So you'll see it was delivered to 700 people, you know, 68 people opened it, but it'll show 0 for clicks. And you really want to know what your click rate is as well. All right, so Lynn says, this seems a lot easier than Aweber, more easily understood for a new person. I agree 100%. All right, let's see. Yes, Dave, there will be a replay. Thanks for jumping on. Let's see, Matt said, what's the best and worst day of the week to broadcast? Also, what time of day are the best and worst? Matt, that's going to fall under the same category as what's the best price for a product. And my answer is always going to be the same, which is you need to test that for your audience because there's going to be different offers, a different relationship. You may be dealing with night owls versus early birds. So, you know, you always want to split test it. What I've heard from a lot of marketers as far as best day of the week to broadcast, stuff like that, is normally like a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. As far as time of the day, it's late morning, you know, 10-ish, something like that. But again, those numbers are going to change for sure, and your audience and your product may be different than mine or where I got those numbers from. So, all right. So Thomas said the newsletter. So should the newsletter open up in a new? It'll automatically open up in a new window. So in other words, if you're in Google like Gmail and you see a link and you click on it, it doesn't close out your Gmail. So almost all the email clients out there that I know of are going to automatically open up in a new tab or a new window, because otherwise people would go nuts. They'd be like, dude, I was trying to read my email and now it's closed. I have to log back in. So, all right, let's see. So Wings asked the question, can you send different autoresponder sequences to different segments of your list in Getresponse? Yes, you definitely can, and it's a very smart idea to. And I covered that in the course as well. All right, let's see. So no, Sandra, that's not the name of the product. Link Cloaker. She thought I said Link Poker. I'll get a link. I'll email it out because you know, obviously I'd like to get an affiliate commission if I can, but it's a super easy to use plugin. So I'll make a demo video and show you what I'm talking about and send that out. I'll try and do that later today. All right, let's see. Ian said, could you modify your own link tool for WordPress? I'm not sure which link tool you're referring to. Are you talking about the redirect software, Ian, or something else? Yes, but it's a project, and I'm actually modifying another product of mine for WordPress that was a desktop application. So that's going to be coming out in the next few weeks, and I'm excited about that because we added more features to make it simple and more powerful. So, all right. So Lisa asked, which additional topics do you cover in your GetResponse course? Good question, Lisa. All right. So let me go ahead and tell you what's going to be in there. First is, some of the things we already talked about for sure, like why GetResponse, how to set up a campaign, how to set up a web form, how to get around the dreaded WordPress bug for the form on the page, as well as the links to the different free plugins. A big one is how to automate lookers and buyers and segment your list, like Wings was just talking about. Okay, how to send out a newsletter, how to send out an autoresponder. Another one is how to know your conversion rate. Okay, not your click-through rate or your open rate, but your conversion rate, and that's a big one too. And there's a free resource for that I share. Another one is how to get 2 to 3 times the number of clicks without spending any more money. Okay, this is one that very, very few people know about. Another one is how to split test your emails, which is super powerful because you can do things with GetResponse. Like you could say, you know what, I have 1,000 people on my list, and if I send them one offer and it bombs, I'm out of luck. So what I'd like to do is send one offer to 500 people and a different variation of that offer to another 500 people, see which one does better, and then mail the winner to the last 9,000 people and get much, much better numbers. So I reveal how to do that in the video series as well. And then the last one is I also show you how to build your list without a website or even an opt-in form. Okay, very cool strategy, and it's pretty sneaky, not sneaky like in a negative way, but clever, So very, very cool stuff that's in there. Now the actual product itself is so new, believe it or not, that I, Mike Cowles, don't have a graphic for it yet. So I promise I'll get a shiny, sparkly graphic on there within the next hour or so. But here's the link if you're thinking that, hey, this is something I would definitely like to watch again. And I will include the replay of this, even with my botching that code. I'll include the replay for this as well if you grab this GetResponse training. And I have this set right now at the price is only $37. And you can see it's a brand new page because I forgot to change the name of the 21 Email Secrets to GetResponse training. But what I'm going to do is, if you buy within the next 24 hours, so that if you're watching the replay of this works for you too. If you buy within the next 24 hours, not only will you get all 12 of the videos, okay, all the training, all the plugins, the PHP code, all that good stuff, you will also get private label rights to this offer. And all of the videos, when I made them, it doesn't have my logo starting on the videos or whatever. It just has the title of it and some nice music, and it fades into the actual training. Now, a couple times for demos, I do have to, show like my dashboard or whatever, so it'll say Mike Cowles or Zach Riley or whatever on there a couple times. But my point is, it's very much geared towards private label rights, where you could take your own image, okay, from Fiverr or whatever, and put it on there and say, get my GetResponse training. It's got 11 videos in there that show how to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all the things I mentioned, and I'll give you a list of all those things that are mentioned as well, and you can keep 100% of the profit. So this is the type of training where everybody's going to want it. And with the private label rights, the other big thing is GetResponse has an affiliate program that will pay you month after month. So you could even say, hey, join my free newsletter where I will send you 11 videos one day after the next on how to use Getresponse. And you know, at the bottom of each video it says sign up for a free 30-day trial right here, and it's your affiliate link. Okay, so day after day they're wanting to know what's coming up, and they're seeing good quality stuff, and they're going to opt in or sign up through your Getresponse link, which means more money for you. The other thing you can do is during those 11 days, you can also say, hey, would you like to just get access to all these right now? Download them right now for only 17 bucks or whatever it is you want to sell it for. So very, very cool. It's going to include private label rights. Val was asking when will you be emailing us about the split testing link cloaker. I will try and do that right after the call, so within the next, I would say, hour or two. All right, so Gina said, thanks, Mike, great help. And let me give you that link real quick for the Getresponse training. Remember, the private label rights is only available for the next 24 hours, okay? So if you decide to grab this later, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have that be an upsell, probably for 67 bucks or 97 bucks more to get the private label rights. So if you decide to grab it now, you get the private label rights as a free added bonus. All right. No, I'm not talking about Clickjacker. But yeah, that's the same guy that created the product, but it's a different product. So, all right, let's see. So Ian says great. Oh, okay. So Dean asked the question: is the follow-up email for people to get their download, etc., that have just signed up made as day 0 or day 1? Day 0 is an immediate email. You opt in, here's your link. Day 1 would be the next day. Okay? All right. Let's see. Jerome says, what? No. Or Edward says, what? No graphic? No, I didn't have time to. All right. Dean asked a good question. He said, also, is the Getresponse training part of the CMS program I have now? Yes, it is. So thank you for asking me. Otherwise, I would have forgotten. If you already have the cash machine system, the Getresponse training is free. Okay, it's already included. Okay. All right. So Garth says, thanks, Mike. I enjoyed your program. You're very welcome. Glad you were here. Let's see. Renee said, do you still have special training for those who buy Getresponse through your link? Yes. If you have bought through my affiliate link already, Getresponse, then Renee, then you get access to this Getresponse training. So it doesn't cost you a dime. Just shoot me an email saying, here's my receipt or PayPal transaction ID or whatever that I bought Getresponse through your link, and I will hook you up with the Getresponse training. All right. So Ian says, that sounds like a great idea. Cool. Lisa says, very generous offer. Thank you. You're very welcome. Georgian says, great offer. Thanks so much! Exclamation point. Edward says, click refresh. I'm guessing he, yeah. All right. Thank you, sir. All right. So Barry said, just bought your Getresponse training. Thanks, Mike. Thank you, Barry. I appreciate that. And then Garrett said, how can I check if I have the cash machine system, please, Mike? The cash machine system was $1,000, Gareth, so you would know if you had it, for sure. Let's say, then Ian said, did you say 37 bucks? Just bought it anyway. All right, thank you, sir. Dean said, is it hard to move the autoresponder days back 1 day, as in day 1 to day 0? I think they are off 1 day. No, just all I have to do is hit edit. So like right here, if we go manage autoresponders, we got to pick a different one where we have something already in there. So like if it was this one, you could, I forget which one it is. This icon is for edit. You would just come over here and just change this from 2 to 1 or 0 or whatever it is that you need. Okay, that's all. All right, so Wings says, you're such a blessing, Mike, with a smiley face. Thank you, Wings. You're a sweetheart. I appreciate that. Let's see. Wal says, if we already have the cash machine system, how do we secure the PLR rights to the great Getresponse training? It's already included. So, Wal, when you log in to mikecollins.com and click on purchases, you'll see Getresponse training is going to be added to the download page. All right. So, Edward, actually, maybe since you're on the call, if you can add that to the purchases page, just that little line of code. I already made the product and everything, like added it to wish list, but I just forgot to add it to the purchases page. All right, and then let's see. Ed said, do you have to have Getresponse for training to make use of the training? Well, it's free for 30 days, Ed, but if you have something else, you're just going to be lost because they're all going to have different pages and different, methods of getting things done. So I would definitely not buy it unless if you're getting Getresponse. All right, and let's see. Lynn said, do you still get the PLR if bought Getresponse through your affiliate link? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. All right, and John said, you're a star, Mike. Thanks for your training today. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. And then Gareth says, okay, I'm in for the PLR. It is well worth it. I agree. All right, and the thing is it's an evergreen topic. That's one of the things to remember whenever you buy PLRs. Is it good quality, and is it evergreen? So you could always, always, always teach people things about list building, okay, and then say, grab this course on Getresponse so that you know exactly how to do all this stuff. All right, so Wal said, thank you, Mike. And Ed said, okay, cool, I appreciate that. Thank you, sir. And so cool. So I actually got through all the questions, if you can believe that. So we are definitely over as far as time goes, so we'll wrap it up in just a quick minute. If anybody has a quick question, let me know now. The, the link again to grab this Getresponse training is simply mikecollins.com/Getresponse training. And that's in the chat box as well. And if you would like to get Getresponse through my affiliate link, that's going to be http://epicmarketer.com/Getresponse. And that is in the chat box as well now. Okay. All right. So Lynn says, you must spend 15 hours a day making videos and graphics. You're a great teacher. Thank you for this training. Thank you, Lynn. I appreciate that. It's some days it is 15 hours, and other days it's none, which is great. So let's see. Barry said, thanks, Mike. Gotta go. See you next time. Rock on. You're very welcome, sir. And Ganty said, can you tell me how many videos and PDF in the course for 37 bucks we get reseller rights or master reseller rights? You actually don't get either one of those. You don't get reseller rights or master reseller rights. You get private label rights, which is even better, because what that means is you can chop it up, you can edit it, you can add your own graphics, you can say that you're the one that created it, you can do whatever you want. And it comes with 11 videos, training videos, and I'm also including the replay of the training from today, but I wouldn't include that in private label rights, okay? And when you're selling it, with meaning once you have the private label rights, you want to sell it, because it's just going to be confusing to people, and it's going to kind of take away from your authority. But if you want to sell it, just the 11 videos, then you're good to go. And that's also going to include the code for the PHP code, as well as the different plugins, and so might even throw in some other bonuses as well. But for 37 bucks, you really can't beat it. All right. So then Thomas said, "God bless." Thank you, sir. God bless you too. Sandra said, "Thanks bunches. You're very welcome." John said, "Just quickly, are there any problems migrating your list from Aweber?" No. John, it was actually a piece of cake, and I actually talked about that a little bit before you came in, so you may want to watch the replay on this. But Getresponse was very, very cool about importing the list, not needing you to do a double opt-in or any of that stuff as well. All right, so Matt says, "Thank you, Mike. You always teach me good stuff." You're very welcome. Well, says, Mike, are you still running your free weekly webinars? That's what we're on right now, Well. So, yes, I am. All right. So Dean asked, is CMS on for tomorrow, same time, 12 Central? Yes, it is. And CMS, that's the workshop. This is going to be session 2 for the cash machine system. And we're going to be talking about emailing your list for more added income and becoming a super affiliate tomorrow. So that's an exciting, exciting topic. All right. Let's see. Gareth said, do you have a license for the PLR? I will have that on there for sure. It's not on the download page right now just because I didn't add it to it yet. But yeah, we'll have that up there today for sure. All right. Rick said, how do you keep track of all this on one site? It's actually easier on one site. The pain in the neck, Rick, was when I was doing this with like 200 different domains. So believe me, it's much easier. You use wish list, you make a new product or a new membership level, your sales page, your download page, and you're done. So much, much easier. It also helps to have a genius like Ed helping you behind the scenes. All right. So David said, thank you, good training. Sandra said, one question, why would you need the double opt-in? You don't overdo it. Double opt-in is from the devil. All right. Yeah, really, it's the people that say to use it are either the people that own like Aweber or Getresponse, just because it makes them look a little bit more legit, but it's never a good thing for you, so don't ever use it. All right, and that quote, double opt-in is from the devil, is from Russell Brunson, by the way. I just thought that was really funny when he said that in one of his talks. All right, so Ian said, thanks as ever for great value, Mike. You're welcome, Ian. Georgian said, are the videos long? No, actually, each video is a specific topic, like how to set up an autoresponder, how to set up a web form, and they're all relatively short, like under 5 minutes. Okay, so the idea behind that is when you buy a course like this, you might be like, I already know how to do A and B, I need to know how to do C and D. Or you may go through the whole thing, set it up, and then a month later come back and be like, oh, how did he say to do this again? And instead of having to go through a long video, you can just go to the video that you want. So Jeff asked, can it be added to a membership site? Yes, it can. Yes, it can. Edith asked, thanks for your great tutorial. Thank you very much. John says, thanks, Mike. You're welcome. Let's see. Sandra said, it will include your method to build a list without a site or a squeeze page? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. All right, and so Dean says thanks. Ian says, what time is it with you right now, Mike, so I don't mess up on the timing tomorrow? Right now it is 3:30 p.m. Okay, and I'm on Central Time Zone. All right, so David said, will Getresponse import single opt-in subs from Aweber? Yes, they will. Now they're always going to take a look at your list first to make sure that there's nothing spammy looking, but yeah, they'll import your whole list. All right. Then Georgian said, good, thanks. All right, awesome. So we are all set. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Ed, for all your help behind the scenes. I appreciate that. And if you run into any challenges, hit my support desk. If you have a quick question for me or a note or a comment for me, then you can always email me at mikehowells@gmail.com. And we will see you, everybody, next week. If you're in the cash machine system, we are on schedule for tomorrow at noon Central Standard Time to jump in for session 2 of the workshop. So thank you again, and God bless you guys. Take care.